Have you ever heard of a man whose brilliance revolutionized aviation, Hollywood, and engineering, but whose eccentricity left him teetering on the brink of madness? Howard Hughes, a billionaire inventor, filmmaker, and aviator, was a genius whose extraordinary life was marked by groundbreaking achievements and profound personal struggles. From breaking airspeed records to producing blockbuster films, his genius was undeniable. But behind the brilliance lurked an unraveling mind consumed by paranoia and obsessive behavior. Dive into the life of Howard Hughes, a man who soared to unimaginable heights but was ultimately grounded by his own genius. The early years. A child prodigy with a vision, Howard Hughes was born in 1905 to a wealthy family in Houston, Texas. Even as a child, Hughes exhibited signs of an extraordinary intellect. At the age of 11, he built a motorized bicycle using parts from his father's workshop, showcasing his innate talent for mechanics. His fascination with engineering only grew, fueled by his father's successful oil drilling equipment business, Hughes Tool Company. After inheriting his father's company at the age of 18, Hughes had both the wealth and freedom to pursue his passions. Instead of merely managing the family business, he envisioned a future where he could innovate and reshape industries. His early years laid the foundation for his later ventures in aviation, filmmaking, and technology, setting him apart as a visionary with an insatiable curiosity. However, even in his youth, Hughes displayed traits of perfectionism and isolation. These characteristics, while fueling his genius, also hinted at the obsessive tendencies that would later dominate his life. His early years were a blend of immense potential and subtle warning signs, making him a figure of intrigue from the very beginning. Hollywood mogul, redefining cinema. Hughes stepped into Hollywood in the 1920s, determined to leave his mark on the film industry. His first major success came with the production of Hell's Angels, 1930, a World War I aviation epic that revolutionized filmmaking. Hughes demanded authenticity, going so far as to reshoot the entire film when sound technology emerged during production. This decision cost him millions, but demonstrated his commitment to innovation. The film's aerial combat scenes, directed by Hughes himself, were groundbreaking. He risked his life flying planes for realistic shots, showcasing his audacity and hands-on approach. The film became one of the most expensive productions of its time, but was a critical and commercial success, cementing Hughes as a Hollywood powerhouse. Hughes didn't stop there. He produced hits like Scarface, 1932, challenging censorship rules and pushing the boundaries of storytelling. His work not only redefined cinema, but also reflected his larger-than-life personality. However, his perfectionism often caused delays and conflicts, a pattern that would recur throughout his life. While his contributions to Hollywood were revolutionary, they came at a significant personal and financial cost. Aviation pioneer. Pushing the limits of flight, Hughes's passion for aviation was unparalleled. In the 1930s, he founded Hughes Aircraft Company, where he developed some of the most advanced planes of the era. His obsession with speed led him to design and pilot the Hughes H-1 Racer, a plane that broke the world airspeed record in 1935. Not content with just speed, Hughes set his sights on long-distance aviation. In 1938, he piloted a Lockheed Super Electra around the world in just 91 hours, smashing previous records. This feat showcased not only his technical expertise, but also his daring spirit. Hughes's contributions to aviation extended beyond personal achievements. His innovations in aircraft design influenced military and commercial aviation for decades. However, his perfectionism often clashed with practicality. His most infamous project, the H-4 Hercules, nicknamed the Spruce Goose, was an enormous cargo plane designed during World War II. Though it flew only once, its creation demonstrated Hughes's ambitious vision and willingness to take risks, regardless of public criticism. His work in aviation remains a testament to his genius, even as it highlighted his growing eccentricity. The perfectionist. Obsession as a double-edged sword. Howard Hughes's genius was inseparable from his perfectionism. Whether in filmmaking, aviation, or engineering, he demanded absolute precision. This trait drove his success, but also led to delays, conflicts, and mounting costs. For Hughes, good enough was never acceptable. Everything had to be flawless. In aviation, his insistence on perfection resulted in groundbreaking designs, but often stalled projects. The H-1 Racer, for instance, underwent countless modifications before Hughes deemed it flight-ready. Similarly, in Hollywood, his meticulousness led to extensive reshoots and editing, causing budget overruns. While this obsession fueled innovation, it also hinted at deeper psychological struggles. Hughes's perfectionism gradually evolved into compulsive behavior, manifesting in extreme germophobia and paranoia. This relentless pursuit of perfection was both his greatest strength and his ultimate weakness, illustrating the thin line between genius and madness. The Spruce Goose, ambition or madness. The H-4 Hercules, better known as the Spruce Goose, is one of Hughes's most most controversial projects. Designed during World War II as a massive cargo plane capable of transporting troops and supplies, the aircraft was made primarily of wood due to wartime metal shortages. Hughes poured his resources and reputation into the project, despite widespread skepticism. The plane's colossal size and unorthodox construction drew criticism, with many labeling it an impractical folly. However, Hughes was undeterred. In 1947, he personally piloted the Spruce Goose on its maiden and only flight, proving it could fly, if only briefly. The project, while technically impressive, epitomized Hughes's tendency to prioritize vision over practicality. It cost millions and failed to achieve its intended purpose, but it remains a symbol of his ambition and determination. The Spruce Goose exemplifies the fine line between visionary brilliance and irrational obsession, encapsulating Hughes's complex legacy. The Recluse, a life of isolation. As Hughes aged, his eccentricity and paranoia became more pronounced. By the 1950s, he had withdrawn from public life, retreating to hotel suites and surrounding himself with a team of aides who catered to his increasingly erratic demands. Hughes's fear of germs and distrust of people led him to live in near total isolation. He avoided physical contact, communicated through note, and insisted on meticulous cleanliness in his surroundings. His reclusive lifestyle was fueled by a combination of mental illness, drug addiction, and the immense pressure of his own success. Despite his isolation, Hughes maintained control over his business empire, issuing directives and making decisions from the confines of his self-imposed exile. His life as a recluse highlights the darker side of his genius, revealing how his brilliance and ambition ultimately consumed him. The battle with mental illness. Hughes' life was marked by struggles with mental illness, which worsened as he grew older. His obsessive-compulsive disorder manifested in behaviors such as excessive hand-washing, repeated actions, and an irrational fear of germs. These tendencies, combined with his perfectionism, made daily life increasingly difficult. Hughes also suffered from chronic pain due to injuries sustained in aviation accidents, leading to a reliance on painkillers. This addiction exacerbated his mental health issues, creating a vicious cycle of dependency and isolation. Despite his struggles, Hughes continued to innovate and manage his empire, showcasing his resilience. However, his untreated mental illness eventually overshadowed his achievements, serving as a poignant reminder of the challenges faced by even the most brilliant minds. The business empire. From aviation to casinos, Hughes was not just a filmmaker and aviator, he was also a shrewd businessman who built a vast empire. In addition to Hughes Aircraft Company, he expanded into real estate, electronics, and hospitality. By the 1960s, he had become one of the largest landowners in Las Vegas, purchasing hotels and casinos to exert control over the city's economy. Hughes's business ventures were driven by his vision and ambition, but they also reflected his desire for control. His investments in Las Vegas were motivated by both financial gain and a need to create a sanctuary where he could live undisturbed. While his business acumen was undeniable, his erratic behavior and isolation began to impact his decision-making. Nevertheless, Hughes's empire remains a testament to his genius, showcasing his ability to succeed across multiple industries. The legacy of innovation. Despite his personal struggles, Howard Hughes's contributions to aviation, filmmaking, and technology have left a lasting legacy. His innovations in aircraft design revolutionized aviation, setting new standards for speed and efficiency. In Hollywood, his films pushed the boundaries of storytelling and production, influencing generations of filmmakers. Hughes's work also laid the groundwork for advancements in technology and engineering. Hughes Aircraft Company became a leader in aerospace innovation, contributing to military and commercial aviation. His vision and determination inspired countless individuals, proving that one person's ideas can change the world. While his life was marked by tragedy and eccentricity, Hughes's legacy endures as a symbol of human potential and ingenuity. Genius or madness? The thin line. Howard Hughes's life raises an enduring question. Where does genius end and madness begin? His brilliance was undeniable, as evidenced by his achievements in aviation, filmmaking, and business. Yet his obsessive tendencies and mental health struggles often overshadowed his accomplishments. Hughes's life illustrates the fine line between innovation and obsession. His perfectionism drove him to achieve greatness, but also led to isolation and self-destruction. He serves as a cautionary tale about the pressures of genius and the importance of addressing mental health. Ultimately, Hughes was a complex figure, embodying both the best and worst aspects of human ambition. His story continues to captivate and inspire, reminding us of the incredible potential and profound challenges of a life lived on the edge of brilliance.